How to make ketogenic Huel. So you need the shaker, you need also the Huel black powder. With the Huel black powder, the idea is that in a proportion of weight, 1 Huel black powder and 1 of an additional oil or desiccated coconuts, for example, you can mix them 1 to 1, and then you get a ketogenic ratio. You get the protein and the micronutrients from the Huel, but only half of it, because Huel is actually made for a consumption of 2000 calories a day. If you now take something additional like this doesn't come with the additional vitamins and minerals. I already have 1 scoop of Huel black powder in here, and also water in here, 250 milliliters for every single scoop. Now, for every single scoop, which is equal to 45 grams, you want to add 50 grams of additional oil, in this case desiccated coconut, which of course is not oil, but something that's very similar. You could also add just coconut oil, olive oil, or things like these. Now, the next step is to move these two together. Obviously, the consistency is based on 250 milliliters of water. If you then add something solid, this might change the consistency in the direction of something that is more solid, which also might be nice if you want to have something to chew on. I already shook this in the shaker for 30 seconds. There is also the additional trick that cold things just move a little bit slower, and therefore the consistency actually might better. The same is true for oats overnight, for example. And now let's add the desiccated coconuts. And I'm over my working desk here and not in the kitchen, which creates currently kind of a problem. So I add my hand as kind of a... And well, maybe I should do it in the kitchen. What you could also use is just a scoop, because this is also just powder, as you might have realized. So I use the scoop and just put it in there. Also, I'm preparing myself for a cleanup of my working desk. So now we have almost oil of it, and we put it in there. It actually is quite surprising that this here is also kind of a protein powder. Not really a protein powder, but similar to the consistency of a protein powder, and also similar in the packaging. So now we add again this filter. It's not a filter, but I don't know another word for it. We put it into the shaker, and let's just see, with the same amount of water that is meant for originally just 1 scoop of Huel, what this does to the consistency in here. So this was about 30 seconds, and let's open up the Huel thing again, and well, it doesn't look drinkable anymore. Let's just open it up. It still smells good. An additional benefit is that the Huel powder is actually very sweet, at least for me, because I'm used to a low-carb diet without sugar. At least that's what I try to aim for. And therefore, this powder, which is actually sweetened, which was a mistake I made when ordering it. I should have not opted for something that's sweetened, because my taste is now a little bit different compared to somebody, or compared to myself, if I ate a lot more of these sweet things, because the taste actually adapts. So now let's put it out. I actually think the consistency with the added desiccated coconut is a lot better, probably if you want to consume it with a spoon. And what I additionally will try is I will try to put this into the fridge. And so the obvious tip is that you want to have it maybe overnight in the fridge, and that will improve consistency even more, because it also allows the water to soak fully into the solid elements of all of this. And now let's actually see what it tastes like. I got the spoon, and now let's try to see what it tastes like. It tastes like the protein powder from before, basically just like any very sweet protein powder, plus desiccated coconut. It's not very surprising. But what you could additionally do is, instead of using the shaker, that only shakes things up mechanically, what you can also try is a smoothie mixer. Very conveniently, I already have one. I also use these as my drinking bottles, because there are actually two of them, and they also come with caps, which is very nice. So now, let's try to see if we can fit this in here. This is 250 milliliters plus the Huel powder plus the desiccated coconut. And this here is 500 milliliters. Actually, both bottles are the same. So actually the Huel bottle is a little bit bigger, because you have this here, and this is 500 milliliters, because 2 scoops, 250 milliliters, but additionally you need air in there in order to shake the whole thing. Because otherwise, if it would be all water, it wouldn't really shake. So now, this is already in there. And now let's additionally add this here. I know the tension is probably very high. And very weirdly, this is actually doesn't seem that much. It seems as if there in there are 300 milliliters, which makes sense. 250 milliliters plus Huel plus the desiccated coconut. I will now add the lid and then put it onto my smoothie mixer. I had it on my smoothie mixer for about 90 seconds, but my smoothie mixer is not that powerful. If you have a big mixer, this would actually give you an additional advantage. Mine isn't that powerful, as I said. So now this is what the consistency looks like. It's not that smooth, so the desiccated coconut hasn't really mixed with all the other ingredients as well as I would have expected or hoped it to be. So now let's maybe try it again. Obviously it will not taste that differently, because they're still components, and there is no chemical process that altered basically the taste. The only thing that changed is how smooth the different tastes now are blended together. It still tastes overly sweet, and for my taste is still way too sweet. So I would have to try to maybe add something that's not as sweet. If I drink it, I can just add more water, but if I actually want to spoon it, well, I should have gone for the unsweetened powder, which also has the additional benefit that there is no additional sugar in it. There is no normal cane sugar in it. That's a huge benefit, but there is stevia in it, which is a natural sweetener, which has the least impact regarding your gut microbiome. And there is also something else there, which is called coconut sugar, or something like this. Indeed, it is called coconut sugar, which has also still calories. Stevia doesn't really have calories, but the sweetness is different from the sweetness you get from sugar. And since sugar is the sweetness we are used to, and it also has calories, and the body also expects it to have calories, whereas with stevia you might run into the problem that your body can tell that it doesn't have calories, nevertheless it tastes sweet, so therefore it kind of alters your perception of the sweetness. This tastes a little bit like stevia actually, because because I used stevia in the past, I kind of know what it tastes like, but I obviously can only tell you what it tastes like. I cannot really transfer the taste to you. So now this is basically now dough, I would say. And with this dough, what I will try now is to make pancakes. But since this was only about the basics of making Huel into a protein shake, not a protein shake, but a ketogenic meal replacement, this is probably the end of the video. If you want to get a full meal replacement that is actually ketogenic, there is a company called Health Code that actually seems to be the best and healthy company, and there are many recommendations on the internet for this company, but it is also about 1.5 times more expensive than the Huel powder for a bag of powder. And it also comes with 2 less servings per bag, so it comes with 15 servings, also with 400 calories, and well, it doesn't deliver to my country, which is the reason I didn't consider getting it. I did consider getting it, but if it doesn't deliver to my home address, I just have the problem of not being able to actually try it.